Hello everyone, this is John Finari from the Sociology Department at Queens College. This video will demonstrate how to use Google Sheets to calculate Pearson's correlation coefficient for the purpose of measuring the association between two quantitative variables. To do this, we will enter a formula into the formula bar in Google Sheets. This is the formula we will be using. The formula is equal sign, Pearson, open parentheses, the range of the dependent variable, comma, the range of the independent variable, and close parentheses. So here's a sample spreadsheet with information about 10 students. I have three quantitative variables. The first variable is study time, and that's the hours of time a student spent studying for an exam. The second variable is exam score, and the third variable is sleep time, and that's the amount of time a student spent sleeping the night before the exam. We're going to calculate Pearson's correlation coefficient to measure the strength and the direction of the associations. Now, even though we've got three variables on this file, we're only going to be calculating bivariate associations, which means we're only going to look at two variables at a time. First, I want to look at the association between study time and exam scores, and then I'm going to look at the association between sleep time and exam scores. I want to know what type of influence each of these independent variables, study time and sleep time, have on the dependent variable, exam score. I also want to know how much of an impact each of these two independent variables have on the dependent variable. To figure out which independent variable has the greater influence on the dependent variable. I've added these two rows here: correlation between study time and exam scores, and correlation between sleep time and exam scores. And in the cells to the right, I'm going to enter a formula. So I'm going to go over here to the formula bar, click in the formula bar, and I'm going to enter that formula that we looked at before. Equals the word Pearson, then the open parenthesis sign. When I hit the open parenthesis sign, this box appears, and essentially this box is telling me I need to select data. Well, the first data element I want to select is the dependent variable. It's very important that you get the order right. When you're using the formula for Pearson, first you select the dependent variable, then you select the independent variable. So I'm going to go over to the data table and select the values for the dependent variable. Then I'm going to enter a comma and select the values for the independent variable. Then I'm going to close the parentheses and hit enter. And right here in that cell I have the Pearson's correlation coefficient for the association between study time and exam scores. Let's do that one more time with sleep time and exam scores. I can also enter the formula right here in the cell. So I've clicked in the cell, hit equals, the word Pearson, open parentheses, my dependent variable, or the values for my dependent variable, comma, and my values for the independent variable. Close the parentheses, hit enter. I now have the Pearson's correlation coefficient for the association between sleep time and exam scores. You'll notice that there's a lot of decimal points. I'm going to highlight both of these cells and go over here to the toolbar and use the decrease decimal places button. I'll hit that several times so that I just have 2 decimal places. I've just added an extra cell to the right of those formulas to show the interpretation of those Pearson correlation coefficients So when we're looking at this value for the association between study time and exam scores, the value is 0.85. The direction is positive because it's a positive number, and the strength is strong because that value is greater than 0.60. If we look at the interpretation of the association between sleep time and exam scores, you'll see that the direction is also positive because it's a positive number, but the strength is moderate. And the reason the strength is moderate is because the value is between 0.3 and 0.6. So although they both have a positive influence on the dependent variable of exam score, study time has a stronger effect than sleep time. There are a lot of different formulas that you can use in Google Sheets. This is just one example. There are a lot of tutorials online, including the Google Sheets cheat sheet and the Google Sheets function list. And in the function list, you'll see all sorts of formulas that you can enter for calculating descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, measures of association, and all sorts of other formulas and functions.